The following is brought to you by Digital Shelf Space, producers of GSP Rush Fit and Tour Academy Home Edition. Visit them online at digitalshelfspace.com.
Welcome to Cambridge House Live. I'm Vanessa Collette at the Toronto Resource Investment Conference. Joining me today is Tim Maloney, National Director of Mercy Ships Canada. This interview is not normal fare for our show. However, this is a cause that is very dear to my heart, and I hope that our viewers will also find it as inspiring as I have. Welcome, Tim. Great to have you here with us today.
Thanks, Vanessa. It's great to be here.
So, Tim, what is Mercy Ships?
Mercy Ships is an international health charity. We have the world's largest hospital ship, the Africa Mercy, which is not owned by a government. It provides, we crew it with volunteers from around the world. We'll take it to a West African country and do free medical services provision to the poor for a 10-month period at a time. So
you essentially have a floating hospital. Why a ship?
Why a ship? Well, initially Don Stevens, our founder, was in the Bahamas and went through a hurricane, and the work that they were doing, they were hunkered together, and someone said, well, wouldn't it be great if there was a ship to come in and help the people after the hurricane had gone past? That idea stayed in his mind till he was in his mid-30s when he shared it with a couple of people in Switzerland and Mother Teresa, who said to him, well, if you go do this, you'll give a voice to Jean-Paul, his son, who is handicapped, and all of the others that are like him. And so off he went with no money, with a story, and was able to find someone who would sell him a retired cruise liner for $1 million that he didn't have. And that's how it started in 1978. From that point on, we've had as many as 5 ships in our fleet over the years, but right now we're one.
Okay.
Someday maybe we'll have another, but right now we're one, and that ship will touch the lives of between 50 and 60,000 people in any one year.
Wow. So right now the ship is moored in one country for a period of a year?
It's 10 months, Vanessa.
Okay.
Is when we stay. It's over a year period, but 10 months. And we're in Pointe Noire in Congo Brazzaville, which is the smaller of the two Congos. People ask, why would you go to Congo? It's so unsafe. But this is a little more stable country. But all of the countries along the shores of West Africa have a little bit of instability to them. But that's probably why they're poor in that sense, and one of the reasons. And so that's why we're there. And in that 10-month period, we'll use the 5 operating rooms, the 82 ward beds, to provide services to the poor, those who really have no ability to acquire medical services. And so,
over the past, is it 35 years?
35 years.
What kind of impact has Mercy Ships made?
Well, big would be the and you know, at an investment conference when we start to talk about billions of dollars, that people's eyes would start to light up. But Mercy Ships in those 35 years has delivered more than $1 billion worth of medical services free to more than 2.3 million people in 56 different countries now over that time period. And we do things like children's orthopedics. We straighten limbs of children. We make a difference in how they're able to walk. We do maxillofacial surgeries, which are, in the simplest terms, cleft lips, cleft palates, big tumors that are removed or are changed that we don't see in this part of the world. We work on fistula repair, a childbirth injury that leaves women incontinent and wet, and people say, well, your life's no value anymore. We do eyes. We do dentistry. When we first went into Liberia 10 years ago after the war, country of 6.5 million people, 4 dentists. So if you had bad dental health, you could be in serious trouble. My bet is, even at an investment conference, we could probably swing a cat and hit 4 dentists here, right?
Right.
So it's about ability to gain access. There's a great story that's actually just unfolded this week. A young man in Nigeria who has had a massive facial tumor had access to the internet, but he didn't have access to medical care. Found Mercy ships online, found out that we were going to be in Pointe Noire, spent every dime he had to get to Brazzaville, the capital, and the person sitting next to him on the flight that he took said, I'm going to get you to Pointe Noire. So he got to the ship, was one of 8,000 people who came for our interviews, our screening day in Pointe Noire, and had surgery last week. And so I've seen pictures of him now that his tumor's gone, and so it's one life changed, each one at a time.
And how much would that change a person's life if they've had, a disfiguring tumor and you remove it for them? How does that impact their life?
It gives them a life back. In reality, most of the medicine that we practice would be, I describe it myself as transformational. If you're in a West African country and you have a deformity or an abnormality, a tumor, a cleft lip, a crooked leg, a really hard cataract that covers up one eye, something's happened that you're cursed. And that's the cultural aspect. So we need to do more to help that. But if we can take that abnormality or that deformity away, it gives them a normal life. There's a story of an older gentleman, 70 years of age, with a cleft lip, who came to the ship. Can you help me? And he'd always been ostracized. We did the surgery, his lip is back to looking like normal, and now he's a normal and welcome member of his community. So it makes a difference in one life at a time.
Right. So this being, such a unique model for, providing these kinds of services, how does it work? Can you walk us through a little bit about,
Sure.
Maybe a day in the life of someone working as a crew member?
Day in the life can be different every day, but we do surgeries on the ship from Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. It's not a hospital that way, in that we're grinding it through 24 hours a day, because everybody on the ship is a volunteer.
That's incredible.
That's how it's crewed, from the captain to the people who clean the bilge, to the surgeons, to the nurses, to the school teachers. They all
pay their own way.
They pay their own way to be there. They volunteer, and they pay their board and room. And that's how the model works financially.
Right.
So we can talk about different things, but a normal day may be a surgeon getting up and having 2 or 3 surgeries in a day, or if it's a really complicated, only one. Or if it's a nurse, she may be on a ward early in the day or in the evening. Or the kitchen. Kitchen produces 2,000 meals a day for the people on board and the patients and the day workers who come on to help us as well. So there's a variety of things. Or if you're a school teacher, it's a normal school teacher day, right?
So how are you funded?
We're funded by, the majority of our money comes from individuals, from people. We're also funded from some governments globally. We've never had any money from the Canadian government, but that's okay. We also get money from corporations.
Okay.
People who are concerned about everyone's life. They make a living with their company, and how do they pay back the world? How do they pay back the community they live in, or if we really think about the world as a really small place, which it is.
Small village.
We're helping the people who are less fortunate in another continent. But we're making a difference that way. So it's individuals, it's corporations, it's Rotary clubs, it's churches, it's all kinds of folks coming together, from little wee bits of money to great big bits of money.
So a company potentially could make a donation and support Mercy ships, and that would be a form of CSR, corporate social responsibility for them. Exactly.
They can choose, and because of the number of things that we do, they have an opportunity to sort of focus their money. If somebody's really interested in kids orthopedics, or in helping the blind, or we also have an agricultural program where we're teaching small plot farmers how to do sustainable agricultural practices that allow them to raise more crops so they can sell in the market, they can educate their children. We do building projects related to schools, those kinds of things.
So you have some other projects, supporting the communities in addition to all the free surgeries that you're doing.
Exactly. A lot of people say to me, well, I'm not a doctor or nurse, I can't do anything. This is a small village, and there's a job for basically everyone. It's time specific. What can we do related to that job? But there's something for everybody, and we can do that And what we're doing at the same time, while we're in the country, is trying to build capacity. So that's been a new focus that we've moved into. So I use 2 eye surgeons from Benin as an example. Prior to coming to the ship 4 years ago, they were doing 10 cataract surgeries a week.
Okay.
They came, spent a month on the ship, learned the techniques that we've developed and put together on the ship, and now they're doing 100 cataract surgeries a week. So 3 years ago, you know, there'd have been a few hundred that they'd do in a year. Now they're doing thousands of eyes in a year.
That's great.
And if we can, you know, give somebody their sight back, what a difference that'll make in their life.
It's pretty transformational.
Yeah.
Tim, just as we wrap up, why are you here at an investment conference?
Well, we've been given an opportunity. Cambridge House has given us a space so that we can come and share our story. We're looking for investors the same way that all of these mining companies are.
Right.
Our bottom line is measured slightly differently. but it's a business, and it's a business based on that. And so, you know, sharing that story allows us. And we had talked earlier about, you know, we had a great opportunity this year where 60 Minutes focused on what we were doing, and Mr. and Mrs. Gross, who own PIMCO, came forward after seeing that program, committed $20 million to the next ship we're going to build. So in maybe 4 years from now, when we're talking again, or we'll talk before that, but in 4 years from now, we might be able to say we have 2 ships and delivering twice as many medical services, touching 100,000 people a year instead of 50.
Absolutely. Well, we will be watching with interest. Tim, it was a pleasure having you here today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Vanessa.